What did you say? Oh,
You.
I said you.
What?
I think because I'm specifically thinking about today, the fact that your like hip is hurting you for no reason.
But you're more accident prone though.
Do you think I'm more accident prone?
But during household chores, though,
I don't know if I'm really more accident prone. What do you mean?
Shaina, you fell walking in here the other day.
Yeah, but that was not doing household chores.
But you were walking.
Do you remember the VeggieTales song? Keep walking, but you
You
won't
won't
knock down our wall. Keep walking.
But it isn't gonna fall. It's plain to see your brains are very small. So keep walking.
We'll be knocking down our wall. Okay, so we're recording, right?
officially, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hop in with the intro.
Oh, you want to do it first?
Yeah, let's just get it out of the way.
All
This
right.
is such a big episode. Like, I'm already tired thinking about the millions of ways this conversation could take us. So let's just.
Honestly, same.
If we decide we can't handle it all today, we can do a part 2. Okay. I want you to I know you're tired. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Big Girl Panties, the podcast where faith meets real life and we dive into the heart of womanhood. We're your hosts. I'm Shaina. This is Priya. And we invite you to join us on embracing the messy, the complicated, and the beautiful aspects of life through a Christian lens and put on our big girl panties to tackle the tough stuff together. I'm redeeming myself one intro at a time. We're hopping right in today. We have a fun little game to play. So, EJ, why don't you, people need to hear your voice early in this episode. Tell us what we're doing.
We are playing a game called Who is Most Likely To?
Okay.
I think you guys have seen this game probably on other things like Ellen.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask.
Or at a wedding.
Oh, yeah, where
This
they
is
hold
like
up
the shoe. Yeah, the shoe game.
Like a stag and doe type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, Priya and Shaina both have cards with their names on it.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to ask a question of who is most likely to, and they are going to answer who they think is most likely to.
Most
Now
likely
I'm
to.
nervous. The whole time I was like, this will be so fun. Now I'm like scared.
I feel like I'm about to get really indecisive.
Yeah, you will.
So we'll see.
And I think for the fun of it as well, you should answer
Why?
why.
Okay.
And then one last thing.
Okay.
Is there a way to win this game?
I don't think so.
Do you guys want to
Ooh.
do it like as a team game where like if you can get a certain amount answered the same,
Like the same?
you win as like a squad?
Ah.
Or if
Oh.
you don't, you are not good friends and
Yeah, this feels more like
Should
just a
we
test of our
reconsider?
friendship.
That scares me.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's like, we're so good. But
But are we?
no, but you know what's funny? It's like sometimes you're like your closest friends, you don't know like the littlest thing about them, but like
Yeah.
you could go back
Because
and
you only
explain
ever
their whole
talk
life
about the
story.
big things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it though. We may as well.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do it like this. I'll ask all the questions
Mm-hmm.
and in post I'll put the percentage of what.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Like our friendship score.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
don't hate on us though, guys.
What percentage do you guys think you will get?
Over 50.
Over 50?
Oh,
We have to get over 50.
I was way more optimistic. I was going to say like above 75.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just worried because of the indecisiveness.
True.
And because I don't know the tone of his questions. And the
oh,
way he's
now I'm
laughing.
about to start overthinking.
Let's not.
Okay,
Let's
no,
not.
wait.
go
Just do
for
it. Just do it. Go. Quick.
What percentage is the winning percentage?
Okay, let's take it like a school score. So whose phone is that? What?
It's not my mom, so.
Right. She's not going to call again. Dang. Like a 80 at school is an A, right?
Okay, so.
So like a 70 is like a B, 75 is a B plus. I would like to get an A because I'm an overachiever.
Yeah.
But
Let's shoot for an A.
okay.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy. Like, what is your minimum? Like, is it B plus?
75.
Does that mean we need to go to like best friend therapy? Like, you know,
Maybe
I thought
we
about this the other
should.
day. This is totally random. I was like, what would I do if Priya and I ever got into like this huge, massive, like shattering argument, I would
we're going to
ask you
therapy.
to go to therapy.
We're going to
like
couples
not
therapy.
a question.
Mhm.
Like the friendship's not ending.
No.
We just need help.
No. This is a lifelong commitment.
Yeah.
There are no
really is.
outs.
No, we're lifers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not getting friendship divorced. This is
that would suck.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's do it.
All right,
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah.
Yes, go.
Question 1.
Oh boy.
Who is most likely to finish a pint of ice cream in one sitting?
Priya, I said. Who did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
But only because I'm not the kind of person to like sit down and do that in general.
Right.
But I feel like, and I eat ice cream all the time either.
When you're talking, don't fling the paper in front of your face.
Oh, it's so hard.
I know.
It's
It's like I-
little flags. Okay.
It's an extension of me talking with my hands. Like this actually
Don't
makes
expose
it
the back
better.
of it.
Proceeds to expose the back of it.
Look at the back.
Listen, I was being industrious. Okay.
They're knives. Oh my gosh. No, but okay, I don't eat ice cream
Priya, he just
a
told you
lot
not to wave
either.
to the microphone.
Okay, well then I have to just put it down.
Yeah, I think so.
But I feel like I eat it more often than you do.
Yes.
So for that reason alone, I'm saying me.
Okay. I would say the same. Like I rarely eat ice cream, but I feel as though, well, just me knowing myself, I would take one spoonful of ice cream again because I never eat it and I'm tapped out. I'm like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you would have a higher tolerance than me. So that's why I said that too.
Tolerance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So far, so
Next.
good.
I have a lot of questions. just so
Okay.
you know.
Okay. We can't like debrief them too hard then, I guess.
No.
That's going to be
make it
hard.
quick.
Okay.
Right.
Who is most likely to lock themselves out of their own home?
Priya. 1,000% that would be you.
I don't think that one needs an explanation.
ADHD.
We can move on.
Who is most likely to clap when the plane lands?
Me.
And you would be like, but they did so well.
Yeah, I would. It just feels like, oh, do you ever clap at the end of like a workout class? Because I clap.
What?
I'm like, thank you. I just want them to know that I care.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're doing good.
Yeah. No, that's totally you.
Who is most likely to appear in a viral TikTok video?
Priya has viral TikTok videos. Can I point out though? I
True.
have filmed some of those.
Yes, you
have
did.
Viral TikTok videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Instagram and TikTok.
That one from the morning of our wedding.
Mm-hmm. That one went
It went
good
viral?
viral.
It went crazy viral.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then the one
Actually, remember they featured it on The Knot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so sick.
I know.
Oh,
I just
forgot.
really
Really funny.
If I remember that, I wouldn't have asked this question.
Oh, but I feel like I would have the potential to go like semi-viral,
Mhm.
but you always like pop off.
What do you mean by always?
I feel like you just do.
Because it was one time.
No, but it's happened a couple times. I can think of 3.
3?
Yeah, 2 of them were on Reels. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll show you later.
You're going to have to because I actually have no idea what you're talking about. Okay.
Who's most likely to know? Shaina.
Who is
Okay.
most likely to become a professional wrestler?
None of us. Next question.
That's the fun of it.
Who's most likely? Well, not me. I have sickle cell disease.
Oh.
Oh.
Look what we just did.
Okay, that's true.
Oh, Priya, you put me. Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you put me? I feel like I'd be broken in half so quick.
Okay, only because you are the type of person to take classes. And I don't.
Oh.
And that's the kind of thing that requires like, you know, commitment and like consistency and like
Okay.
showing up to like work on it and train and that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you kind of do that with like other things like,
Yeah.
you know, Pilates or like with your ballet and that kind of stuff. And
That's true.
I don't do that.
That's true. Okay, I'll give you that. In my head, aside from the fact that I, sickle cell, so I would just end up in a crisis. I felt like, I'm like, why would we end up in a wrestling match? And like, if there was any confrontation, I'm running away. You might stand up for yourself. So that's why I
No.
Priya.
I'm getting out of there. I might like yell something like passive aggressive, but only as I'm
As you're exiting stage left. Okay, fair.
Oh my gosh.
Who is most likely to move to a foreign country?
Ooh.
I'm still thinking, and I don't want to look at yours. So what did you put? Did you put Priya? Yeah. Okay. Same. I just feel like
I have more
you're
of a travel bug
adventure.
than you.
Yes, you have a more of an adventure wanderlust. I'm like, give me my routine every single day, constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who is
And you
most
have a travel
likely?
buddy.
True.
But he's like you though.
Oh.
Content. Perfectly content to stay at home. Yeah.
I am.
Home is where the heart is.
Who is most likely to be written about in future history books?
Written about. For something good or bad.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
What did you put? Okay. Samesies.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to announce it. We put Shaina. Just because people, if you're watching, good for you. If you're listening.
True. I didn't even think about that.
There's this whole visual component right now. So brief plug, find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
We both
That's
put
true.
Shaina.
We'll announce what you guys pick
Okay.
moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you.
Who is
Yeah.
most likely to accidentally leave their mic on during a Zoom call?
Priya.
They both have picked Priya.
If any of these questions involve accidentally doing something
It's probably you.
mindless, the answer will likely be me.
I'm too anxious for that. I'm constantly checking. Like, I obsessively check on Zoom calls to make sure my mic is off.
I do as well.
But I could picture you in
if
doing
it
that, like,
were to
accidentally
happen to
hitting-
one of us,
Yeah.
it would be me.
Yeah. I think we're doing pretty good.
We are.
I
I knew
hoping
we
you guys
would.
be
I love
worse,
you.
to be honest.
You thought we'd be worse?
I hoped you were worse.
Oh, we're just insane.
Friendship's too strong.
Who
Watch
is
us
most
suck
likely
after this, Lord.
to laugh in a serious situation?
Priya. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's my caveat. I would be most likely to look at you at an inappropriate time and either trigger your laugh or start laughing because you're already laughing.
In which case, it would still be me laughing first.
It would still be, but I'm just saying, like, I
But
would be
you
not
would-
far behind.
Yeah. Well, and you would make me laugh.
Yeah.
Like
Or
if
I
it's
could
a
picture- I
serious
would look at
moment, but
you,
something funny
not laughing.
happened, and we're not supposed to laugh, you cannot look at me. Like,
yeah, I will make you laugh.
look at the floor.
Okay, deal.
Who is most likely to date someone twice their age?
Priya. Who's most likely to
Interesting.
date Priya?
Yeah, true.
I hope
Well, that's why I-
hope
that's
not
why you're
married.
These are hypothetical, are they
Wait,
not?
you ended up with somebody younger.
I know. Which I
having
never
a
thought
crisis.
would happen.
You a whole cougar. That's crazy.
Okay,
Okay, as if you weren't born
literally the next year.
the next year. Like, relax,
So-
please.
So
He loves to call you a cougar. That's.
Whatever.
Do you know what? Actually, though, can I clarify, or not even clarify? I feel as though if you, let's say we were both single right now, it could have been 50-50 for either of us.
Okay, I really actually did have to think about this one
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like
What was the age gap?
twice your age.
Oh yeah, that would make me so uncomfortable. Actually, I feel like
Okay,
I
no,
could
that-
go
yeah,
like a
that's a little
solid
extreme.
5 to 8 years older than me would be like chef's kiss.
yeah. And like if I was single, I think
I feel like you would just. Need
I would be okay with that too.
Yeah.
But I think I just answered like that because like who would just be more likely to date in general.
period. Yeah.
It would be me.
But in context, a 60-year-old?
Oh, you couldn't catch me. Mm-mm.
No, we just had to
We had to clarify the age gap.
Yeah.
So does the clarification keep the answer the same?
Yeah. I feel like you could easily pull somebody twice your age, though. I would have a hard time.
But is it pulling your age or just doing it?
I don't know.
Like, who's more willing, I think.
I want to
Because
know.
it doesn't seem like both of you want to do it.
Not particularly.
No,
Like,
it's
who's
just,
more
I feel
willing?
like I'm picturing just like who would end up in such a situation. Priya. But I don't know why. It just.
I don't know why I feel like you would.
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of my answers to what I think the answers would have been
Or reversed?
are all wrong.
Really?
He
Yeah.
knows. He doesn't know.
Okay, if it's about who would be, if we're thinking about it in terms of who's like more likely to date in general,
Yes.
then like yeah, okay, I
Let the
guess the
record
answer
show.
would be me, right?
I could
But
actually.
I feel like the
That's not
level
the
of
question.
like maturity and like being established and that kind of thing
Yeah.
would be
Me.
you.
I could actually, yes. No, you're right. I could picture ending up with somebody exactly my age or older, but I cannot picture myself with somebody younger at all, even by a year. Which, I mean, Lord, if that's what you have for me, then that's what you have for me. But
That's
let me
what Priya said
clarify.
about me.
That's what I said too. Yeah.
That's what you said too.
And then
Wild.
along came a boy.
He's so pleased with himself. I don't know. I want to know what people think about these after. Like, if there's any that surprised you.
Yeah.
I feel like they know us well enough
The
now.
reason I said I think you
Yeah.
is because I think Priya's cold.
Yeah.
So I think twice her age, if a 60-year-old even tried to talk to her, she would be so mean and cold that he wouldn't even get the opportunity. But because you're nice,
I would entertain him
you would entertain him.
and be miserable.
So I think you would have more opportunity.
Or not
That makes
even be
sense.
miserable, but realize that you're not actually miserable and like
A 60-year-old
The guy's
girl,
kinda
I'm
cool.
miserable.
60's a big
60?
that's a
okay,
lot.
okay, fine, okay,
That's old. That's old.
okay,
It's like,
fine.
it's like your dad.
Bro. In Jesus' name, I rebuke that.
Okay, too far. Too far.
I would be miserable,
But
I would
older
stand there
in
and be like,
general, though. And like to be clear, like no, but that would be your actual face.
That's exactly what I would do. And like genuinely
gosh.
listen the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one, jury's out on that one.
Okay.
Like, I could see it happening for you, but now that EJ has broken that down, logically,
It would
probably
be more
me.
likely for you to have to happen to you simply because you would actually give somebody the time of day.
Yeah.
Have you seen
And
the
I
faces
would be
Priya makes when
like-
I say something a little off?
I'm out.
Can we make a compilation one day?
One day.
We actually have to, because it's hilarious.
Because if you make those faces at me, who you love, ain't no 60-year-old coming by Priya.
But I don't mean to.
No, but it's just
No,
that
you
sometimes
just
you don't
mean.
inform your face.
No, but I'm not even trying to.
No, we know you're not.
It just happens.
It's just one of your
Like,
isms.
I can't help it.
Next question. Let's go.
Who's most likely to break a world record?
But I have reasons. What did you put?
They both put
You.
Shaina.
We both put Shaina? Okay. Why did you put that? And then I'll explain why I put that.
Because doing something like that doesn't interest me at all, and it would take like time and effort that I just don't care to give.
You're like, no.
Just don't care.
That was pretty similar to what I was about to say. I was like, I just feel like Priya would be like, why am I doing this again?
Yeah.
Whereas-
I feel like it would for you would be like an achievement.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, like I've decided I'm going to do this. And again, the training thing. Like I would just be like, hey, this is what I'm doing now. But you'd
Yeah.
be like, you would have questions.
Yeah. I
would just blindly be like, okay, let's go.
It'd be a
It would
punishment
either-
for Priya.
Huh?
It'd be a
Yeah.
punishment for you.
Yeah, like
I'd
I
be
would
so-
either
yeah.
not do it because I just like why would I don't care, or I would start trying to do it and then be like never
Never
mind.
mind. But if I started,
Lose interest.
even if I did not want to, I would feel like I had to see it through.
Yeah, no. No.
Next one.
Next. Who is most likely, this is a good one.
Okay.
Who is most likely to cry first during a sad movie?
Oh.
Oh, that's hard.
You think that's hard?
Oh.
We did opposite.
Oh wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I switched hand. No, I meant to do you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously?
Ooh. No, yeah.
Okay,
you.
Shayna.
Yeah.
I say that,
But again,
because-
not by much.
Not by much, but not even a sad movie. I'm just most likely to cry from some sort of stimuli. Unless it's an awkward situation, and then I like freeze up, and then you.
In
would be
which
the one
case,
to,
I'm
like,
laughing first.
Right, but but I like I have cried watching like TD Bank commercials. Like a cute like family comes on with like a little kid, and I'm like, look at this happy family, and I start crying. So it would totally be me.
Jeez.
I cry every time I go on TikTok.
Your heart is too big.
The way you said that.
Who is most likely to become a millionaire?
Ooh.
I mean, with the pod?
No doubles.
No doubles.
No doubles.
You're outnumbered. Doubles. Next question.
With that attitude, you're going to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
No. No doubles.
Okay, I think we need more context. Like, become a millionaire for doing
For
what?
what? Yeah.
Because if it's something, again, like for going viral or doing something like that, then like 1000% Priya. But if it's like, I don't know, something to do with like,
For training and something?
yeah, then it's me.
Nope.
It depends why.
No, the question is just a question.
That's
Who
a
is
hard one.
most likely to become a millionaire?
No, wait. Okay,
I'm bougier, so like I kind of have to become a millionaire. That sounded so
That's
bad.
fair. No,
But
let's amend the question. Who's more likely to become a millionaire first?
first. Yes.
You. Oh, wait. You. Yeah.
Lefts and rights. You think
And
me?
for that reason, it could never be me. Yeah, you.
we think
I think you'll be a millionaire first.
I could just picture it just happening though for you, like so like you would be working on something, and like because you're very creative, it would just everyone would just love it, and it would just happen overnight. I would have to truck at it for years.
But like, what am I doing that's creative that
I don't
everyone
know.
loves?
Something
Like,
to do with socials.
probably selling feet pictures.
I feel like you're gonna become a millionaire because you're married to me. 'Cause
No
I'm
need
a
to
Okay,
millionaire.
rub
well,
in that I have
okay,
a husband.
hang
and
on.
get
Yes
married
Yes and
become a
amen.
millionaire.
But also,
Yes,
that's
in
not. That's not. That doesn't fit the question.
Okay.
Now I'm like, dang, is this how we're becoming millionaires? We have further to our conversation later today.
Wait. Okay. Yeah. Next.
question.
Foreshadowing.
Next.
Who is most likely to sign up first for karaoke? Ha! Got him.
I put you.
What?
I feel like you're braver.
You sing?
Yeah, but you're brave.
Not like that.
I feel like I would need a nudge. And if you were like, no, like, let's do it, then I'd be like, okay.
Okay. I would need more than a nudge.
Really?
Yeah.
I just feel like this is something that you're also more carefree and like fun. So I could picture you doing this.
Sober?
I don't know.
No.
You did it at a retreat one time at Big Picture.
Oh, true. But you know what though? That was
Were you
different.
sober?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Very
church.
much so. Okay. It was a youth retreat.
retreat?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, I was full on, in leader mode. But I think that that's why, though,
You were leading.
because it was in a room full of high schoolers whose opinions of me I could care less about. You know what I mean?
So you care more about random people in a karaoke bar than the high schoolers you see every week?
But it's different context, though. Because, like, if I suck, then it's just really funny. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm not sure.
As a singer,
I don't know.
as
That
a
felt
singer, no,
different.
I would
'cause
be
if you
mortified
suck,
if
then
I
you
hit a
suck.
bad note, period. Yeah.
When you can sing, hitting the bad note hurts.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst hit to your ego ever.
When you can't sing, hitting the bad note is
It's just funny.
It's a regular Tuesday.
Nah, I still say you. Because you sing. And you sing, like, in front of people regularly.
Yeah.
Like that's like your thing.
Actually, you know what? I don't really.
Really? You don't
Like,
train?
I'm like the morning of, I'm like, what am I going to sing today? Holy Spirit, activate. Like, and then I just kind of like go through the stuff I have and I'm like, okay, Lord, yeah, this one could work. And I like sing it twice and then I'm on my way. Like I practice it like twice by myself.
Okay, but the thing is, that's how good you are, though.
No,
you can do that.
This is a hard one.
No, I'm sticking with my answer.
I feel like I'm sticking with mine too.
Dang.
That's one wrong.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I just took down our average.
Who is most likely to get lost using a GPS?
Using a GPS?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
This is an audio broadcast.
Oh, yeah, I'm like,
Sorry,
the silence is deafening.
Okay.
Okay, same answer. Priya.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
It's happened before.
okay, you know what I'm thinking of though? Do you remember that one time that we were driving back from
And we called my dad and he told us
Yeah.
to go over the 3 rumble strips.
Yes.
He was so specific about what and like all these different things. That's what I was thinking about too.
Were you driving or was it me?
You were driving. We had the GPS and I had told you the GPS says to go here. And you were like, no. And you like didn't listen to me. And then we got so lost that I had to call my dad and he had to like walk us through it.
I don't
I've
remember
been
that.
with you
Like I
other
remember
times.
the occasion. Like I remember that it
I
happened,
remember
but
so vividly.
I don't remember the specifics at all.
No, I remember.
Like I thought it was you driving.
No, it was you.
Oh.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was you
no.
driving.
Yikes.
But I've been with you a couple times where we've had the GPS on and you've like missed a turn and had to like do the roundabout again.
But like, you know, when you are in a completely unfamiliar area though, and like you don't know like how many lanes
Girl,
are
you're
there,
fighting
and
for
like
your life right
do
now.
I have to like get all the way into the right lane because it's a turning lane coming up, or can I stay where I am? Or like it says to turn right, but like there's a few right turns, so like which one is it? And then it's hard to know. And it, like you know what I mean?
You're kind of proving.
I think yeah, but here's what I'll give you. With like no GPS, I think you're better at directions. Like
really,
you know your way around this city way better than I do, and we both like grew up here.
Yeah, because she spent
I don't know
30
where I'm
years
going.
Here.
Yeah, but like I did
But
too.
so did Shaina.
And she doesn't.
She
doesn't know the north side.
She knows but she knows a lot more than I do.
Do I?
Yeah. I mean, I know the south side better. We sound like we're in different like hoods.
Oh my gosh!
I
As if
we're not talking about friggin' Barrie.
I know the whole city.
better. I know the south side better, but I'm still very like, oh, I'm not sure. Whereas I feel like you will just whip around Barrie. I'm lost.
No, that's not.
I've been with you before. Like no, but
I don't
okay.
know.
EJ, we're not talking about in relation to you. We're talking about in relation to the two of us.
I know,
right? I have been with you, and you're like, oh, let's go here, and you don't need a GPS, and I'm like, how did she get here? I need a GPS, but when I have a GPS,
thank you for saying
I'm
that happened, because I don't remember
It
that
has
happening
happened.
either.
Who has a better memory?
Shaina.
Shaina.
The answer to that question will never be me. Could never be me.
If I ask you where Johnson Street is, how fast can you tell me?
Is that in Barrie? Well, there was my answer.
Is that downtown somewhere?
No,
Where is it?
it's right beside church.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't go to that church.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know where I am ever.
Yeah.
I know where I am, but I have no idea where I am.
So basically, find someone else to direct.
But no, like I said, with a GPS, I'm a boss,
I see.
which
But
is not a flex.
Yeah.
It's not a flex at all. But here we are. Next question.
Who is most likely to get injured while doing household chores?
What did you say? Oh,
You.
I said you.
What?
I think because I'm specifically thinking about today, the fact that your like hip is hurting you for no reason.
But you're more accident prone though.
Do you think I'm more accident prone?
But during household chores, though,
I don't know if I'm really more accident prone. What do you mean?
Shaina, you fell walking in here the other day,
Yeah, but that was not doing household chores.
but you were walking.
Do you remember the VeggieTales song? Keep walking, but you
You
won't
won't knock down our wall. Keep walking.
Haha,
But it isn't gonna fall. It's plain to see your brains are very small. So keep walking.
We'll be knocking down our wall.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
VeggieTales.
No, if you can fall while just walking,
Yeah.
then you can injure yourself doing household chores that involve like
I feel I'm so precise when doing household chores. Like I would be shocked if something like that happened. I'd be tired faster than you, but not injured.
No, okay, you want to know why else I think that?
Why?
Is because you live in a whole house and we have a small apartment. So
Fair.
like time-wise,
Yeah.
there's more opportunity for you to injure yourself than it is for me.
That was an EJ answer.
Actually, it was.
Thank you.
It was. It was very logical. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to buy more underwear instead of doing laundry?
Priya.
I will do the laundry.
But you'll also
if
just
it
want
was
more
going to be
underwear?
one of us, it would be me.
Yeah.
No, but wait though. Because when you buy new underwear, you have to wash it at home before you wear it.
Absolutely.
Which then involves doing laundry anyway.
Did you say you don't?
100% I don't do that.
EJ? This is a conversation that has to take place off the pod.
Wait, I'm immediately so concerned.
Why? What
That's
happens?
your husband. Go get your man.
What happens if
You know
do
what
that?
though? Men are different.
They're so
They
built
don't have the
different.
same
I'm so scared of men. It's not even funny.
bad things.
Okay.
Because even it's different. Like men's
No.
underwear can come in like packs. You know what I mean? So it's like sealed.
Even if it was sealed,
Right?
still that's a problem.
No, even still, but at least it's sealed. Whereas women's underwear, like if you walk into a whatever, like a Victoria's Secret or a La Senza or whatever, they're all just like out
We're
in
like
bins,
touching each
and you
one.
like, yeah.
But still, okay, but I'm very like, if I bought something and it's going to directly touch my skin, so not like a jacket or something,
No,
I'll
that's
probably
different.
wash it first.
I don't do that
I
with
wash like
t-shirts.
sheets first. I wash.
Oh, sheets, absolutely.
You have to.
Yeah.
I wash like cozies first. So if I got a pair of pajamas, especially, has to be washed first. Undies, bras, like all of it has to be.
But wait, why?
Because it's just like, it's dirty.
Because
I don't
other
know.
people have touched it and like potentially tried stuff on.
Yeah, and you don't want it like touching your personal.
Like,
private
you don't know
areas.
who's-
So I'm supposed to do that with t-shirts?
I mean,
To me, it depends on the t-shirt and like what I'm planning to wear under the t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I survived this long. I'm fine.
Well, Godspeed to you, buddy.
yeah. Best of luck.
Hold on, let me open the phone. 1 sec.
This is an audio broadcast.
Next question.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to take the longer shower?
Priya.
True. She took like a
Me.
40-minute shower the other day.
I'm in and out unless it's a hair wash day.
It
You
was
have
more
like
than
a lot
40
more
minutes.
products.
But okay, that was different though. Can we just like be fair to me though?
Okay. On a fair day, it's 30 minutes or more.
Oh,
No.
Yes.
No.
I have 3 songs that I go through in my shower.
yeah.
But you're a boy. Girls have so much to do in the shower.
I'm in and out 5 minutes flat.
Really?
Yeah,
Right
and that
against your
includes
theory.
me exfoliating.
Okay, I
And, like,
can
washing
do it.
my face for a minute because I count to 60 while I wash my face.
Oh my gosh. I just
Like I just like
go
I
until
could
it
be in and
feels
out in
right.
like 5 to 7 minutes
It would
easily.
just stand there in the water.
I don't like standing there. I don't like water falling on me personally.
Really?
Like genuinely.
Okay, you know what it is? I think one, girls have more to do in the shower than boys do in general. That's just a fact. Like
That-
we
I
just
mean,
do.
that is true.
And even if it's not an everything shower, we still will usually have more to do. So if it's like a quick shower, like I can be quick. I can be out of there in 5 minutes. Like I am capable.
Yeah.
I am. But I think part of it for me is that like I do some of my best thinking in the shower. Because like it actually makes sense when you think about it. Because when I'm in the shower, there's nothing else.
To distract you?
Yeah. And there's nothing else that I can be doing. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
I
I'm
totally see
in
that.
there.
But that's why I don't like being in there. Because I'm like, I could be doing this, this, and this right now. And I'm just like standing here.
See, like, okay, I'll procrastinate showering because of that.
Yeah.
But then once I'm in there,
You're like, ah,
then my brain is just like,
here
we're
go.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, we both knew the answer to that one. It's definitely
It's
you.
me.
I'm going to do 3 more.
Okay.
So I got to make them good. Let's see.
We're doing very well, though, friend.
Who is most likely
A+
to win Hell's Kitchen?
To win Hell's Kitchen?
Like the cooking competition show?
Competition.
I have reasons. But I'm going to say Priya.
Average gone down.
What?
I'm going to put sound effects every time.
I said you.
Me?
Yeah.
I feel like I would crack under the pressure and start to cry.
She probably would too.
I can't picture you like breaking down and crying.
Not while the cameras are on.
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
But the second they turn off,
you're gonna like melt down.
Waterworks.
No, I would like. I think I would be so anxious that I would get really. It's anxiety that would cause my problems. I would get anxious. I'd like start to shake. I wouldn't be able to open anything. Like I'd be, like my olfactory senses would go out the window. Like yeah.
I
plus,
said you
you're,
because
like, a
I'm
good
thinking
cook.
about it like specifically from a cooking perspective. Because like I think I'm a pretty good cook too.
I think so too.
But I think you're a great cook.
Oh, thank you.
So, like from a purely culinary standpoint,
Oh my word, I'm honored.
I'm picking you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I just feel like you wouldn't crack under the pressure. And again, like also, I thoroughly enjoy your food.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would just go on there and make guacamole for everybody.
Oh my word, you would win so fast. So fast.
Probably put like truffles in it or something.
No, that would be you. If you went on, you would do that.
Out of the 3 of us, EJ would easily win.
Out of the 3 of us, yeah, he would.
EJ's
win.
winning.
Yeah.
That's my industry.
Yeah.
My ex.
That's like your
industry.
thing. Your ex industry.
All right, let's see. Okay, this one, because we've had the discussion before,
Okay.
I want to know the answer.
The fact that this one requires setup. Okay.
Right.
Who is most likely to pee in the shower?
The funny thing is, this is a really hard one.
But this is insanely hard.
But I also know why I answered so fast.
I'm trying not to look at you.
Yeah, I'll put mine back down.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do. Oh no, it's happening.
You're so funny.
It's happening. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I put, Priya.
Me?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like,
not
I just
that you
never
would
would.
pee in the shower, but we know that I would have a catastrophic meltdown.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't.
Yeah.
If push came to shove, you would. I would not. Like my bladder would explode.
Oh my gosh. Shaina would die before she
I would
pees in
die.
the shower.
Yeah.
She would choose death.
Yeah. But
Honestly,
you're
that
more
sounds
wise.
absolutely ridiculous to me.
Whatever.
You're in the shower.
Exactly. You're
Which
trying
is
to get
for
clean.
showering and
Why are you
getting
trying to make yourself
clean?
dirty?
Then what? Like, if you do it at the beginning of the shower.
No.
No.
Then it's like
Oh my
all I'm
God.
picturing is like little like particles of pee like stuck
Yeah.
under my feet. Oh, God. Next question, please. I beg.
That's
Why would it be
disgusting.
stuck? Are you not washing yourself?
EJ, next question.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I
no
can't even
nasty.
talk about it. It's disgusting.
All right.
You know what it is? It's the way like you have to clean your shower. Like you have to clean your bathtub.
Yes.
Right? It's not just like it stays clean forever because there's water running. Like
Exactly.
like there's like dirt that like builds up or like soap scum and like you have to like clean your shower. So just because you pee in the shower and the water's running doesn't mean that you're guaranteed
squat.
that everything is going to like self clean and like the water is going to wash it all away. Like
But what do you mean self-clean?
I don't
You
want
scrub
to
with soap after you pee.
it's not about it's not even about the bodies.
And the same dirt that you're
It's
saying you have to
because
clean out
that's
of the
not where
tub.
you're supposed to pee.
But the same dirt you're claiming that you have to clean out of the tub anyways is in there when you're cleaning.
It shouldn't
So
be.
whether it's pee residue or it's dirt residue.
Those are two very different things.
Oh my God.
But also, there should never be residue because you're constantly cleaning it.
Yeah.
You
but
clean your
also
shower
sh-
after every shower?
When I shower in like a tub, every time.
Interesting.
I'm not talking about a bath.
No, I'm talking about like how your guys is like the
like
tub
the shower
with the shower head.
combo things.
I keep I mean, we know I don't do that anymore because I can't touch shower curtains, but like I keep
true.
like a scrubbing pad and the soap, and I when I get out of the shower, I scrub the whole thing down. And if I'm in a shower, like glass shower thing, I spray everything down after and it gets cleaned like constantly. Not every time I get out, but if it's a bathtub, because it's easier to build up dirt in there, I literally get out, I'm still in my towel and I'm like scrubbing it down.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't do that. It gets scrubbed down. It gets scrubbed down every week.
Do that, Priya?
Because I'm not Shaina.
So does that mean you're dirtier than Shaina?
What?
According to this logic?
Huh?
What?
Like
no, I'm just not as
the rationale behind
I have problems
the shower
with bathrooms though. Like
so like
yeah, and like so do I, but not to the same degree as you.
No.
Do you clean the toilet after every time you use it?
Not every time, but I will.
Because I feel like that's worse.
Scrub out.
I feel like that's worse.
Depending on what happened that day.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, the bottom line is if you pee in the shower,
guys,
you're gross.
Weary.
All right, okay.
End of story.
I concede.
He totally cannot see.
No, I said I concede.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Good.
As you
I
should.
don't see what you say.
Yeah, we know. Mm-hmm.
Last question. Who is most likely to survive alone on a deserted island?
I have too many health issues. Thank you. Okay, explain your logic, then I'll explain mine.
You're an introvert.
Okay, that's why I almost put myself up. I was like, you being alone would knock you out.
Socially, I would die.
Wait, hold on. A deserted island, and your reasoning for why you wouldn't survive is because you're not an introvert?
Because I feel like...
Definitely go die first. You didn't say nothing about survival or water or just living.
No, okay, people. Well, one.
That tells you how not much of an introvert she is.
No, because one, I just feel like there's like a part of you that would come alive knowing that you're alone. And like there would be like this just like extra like part of your brain that would unlock and just like start to thrive, you know? Mm-hmm. And you'd be like, I don't know.
I'd be doing my thing.
Live your best primitive life, you know?
Primitive.
Like you and your little tiki hut. Like, yeah. I feel like, yeah, I could never.
Can you reread the question and then I'll explain?
Who is most likely to survive alone on a deserted island? Like Castaway, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you.
Such a good movie. The reason I said you specifically is because I was like, if we're talking about surviving, that implies staying alive. And I just, again, the health issues might catch up with me sooner than they would catch up with you. That was genuinely my...
but Priya overlooked everything but socializing.
Like, I think I would have a grand old time, genuinely.
I think you would too.
If I had a single book, I'd be happy.
But no, you know why?
I think I can handle it really well.
This is my answer. Shaina would survive longer because she would find a way to like thrive alone on the island. I would not survive because I would die trying to get off of it.
I believe you.
That's why. Actually, that's the answer.
That's true. I would literally sit there and be like, "Hey, this is where we're living now."
Yeah.
And you would be like, "Get me out of here."
Yeah. I would die trying to escape.
Yeah.
That's how that ends.
I'm excited to see our score.
Yeah, what's our
Good
score?
questions, EJ.
I can't do it right now.
No, he's going to find it out for us. We'll have to see it in post.
I want to know.
It's definitely not an A.
Really?
Really?
I don't think so. You got quite a few wrong.
Oh, that hurts my heart so bad.
Wait. No, I don't want to believe that that's true.
I feel like I failed miserably.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so embarrassed.
I guess we're going to therapy.
Yeah.
See you there.
See you in therapy, babe.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Should
BGP
we do...
Moments?
Yeah, let's do it. You want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay. I'm gonna orient myself towards you. Let me stare deep into your soul.
Okay. Wait. Let me move too. Okay. My BGP moment would be yesterday. It was my grandfather's funeral celebration of life
Mm-hmm.
service thing yesterday. And I feel like I can't talk about it for too long because I'll like
That's fair.
have to go fix my face.
That's okay.
But it was just really significant and profound for a lot of reasons and like just in so many ways. And I feel like it's now causing me to I don't know, just like reflect about life.
Yeah.
In a different way that
Realize
I kind of haven't
things.
before. Yeah, we're just realizing. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had a moment this morning where I was so he had a blog that he wrote in. I think I mentioned that before. And one Christmas a couple years ago, my parents got it, like had all of his blog posts printed into a book and had it like printed and bound. And like, it's an actual like book. And there's a dedication in the front of it that he wrote to all of us grandkids. And like this was when he was still like with it enough and could like still write and stuff. And he wrote like a handwritten note to each one of the grandkids, like for each one of our copies that's in like the front of each of our copies. And I was reading it this morning and, you know, it was just like a note of like, you know, encouragement and prayer and, you know, that kind of thing for our lives. But it just got me thinking about how, oh my gosh, how I want to make sure that I'm living a life that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Like able to receive all of the like blessings that I know he prayed, like asking God for over my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that this morning. But yeah, it was just a big day yesterday and it was just really significant and yeah. Anyway.
Thank you for sharing. You did good.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you for being
beautiful.
there yesterday.
Oh my goodness, of course. I was so happy to be there. Yeah. Funny enough, my BGP moment is actually yesterday too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Shaina.
I'm not gonna make it long. It was, I mean, again, such an honor to be able to be there with you and your family. And one, just like as a total aside, I realized sometimes I forget how long we've been friends. And like how deep those roots run. And like I see people and it's like, these are your people, but there's so many of them that I'm like, oh my gosh, they've known me from when I was little too. And it just, I think our friendship is so special and like I cherish it so deeply. Hence why we need to go to therapy now.
True.
But it was truly just an amazing thing to witness, like all the absolutely beautiful things that everyone had to say about your grandpa. And like everyone had this tone of saying, you know, he walked with the Lord. He edified Christ. Like he just displayed the person of Jesus. And it just made me think a lot about if I were to die like tomorrow, what are people going to say at my funeral? Like what would they actually have to say about me? And I mean, I pray with my whole heart that it would be that, you know, she was a woman after God's own heart, but I can't just hope that. Like, what am I actually doing to make that a reality? And so it was, one, just so encouraging to see that it's like, yes, God still does walk so closely with his children that ask him to walk with them. And it's beautiful to see how glorifying that is to God because he touched so many lives. But it was also, like a challenge and a call to me. Like, what are you actually doing to speak the name of Jesus, to have his presence just surround you and to be sharing that with other people? And that's something that I really want to strive for. And so that was kind of my moment.
That's so funny because I had like pretty much the exact same thought this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I want my life to be lived in a way that, yeah, people have similar things to say about me.
Yeah.
And not even about like me, but like me in relation to God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot to like unpack and process for me. Which is partly like why my energy is so low today. 'Cause I'm just like mentally and emotionally, I'm just like so tapped out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really beautiful day, and there was so much that I took away from it, and I feel like I just have to like sit with it, because I feel like there's even more that I just haven't, hasn't come to the surface.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the process of processing is always it's a journey. It's not a destination, but also grief is that same thing. And even though, there's so many positive, wonderful, beautiful things surrounding Papa's life, his death, like the way everything went, that doesn't mean that there's not some really heavy things, because death is not natural to us. We were not created for that. Like, it's just not how it was supposed to be. And so, like, I imagine that the processing is going to happen for a really long time, but I'm sure it's going to be so good.
mm-hmm.
And like, I can only imagine you just growing further and further from it, which ain't that just like Papa to
Truly,
give you something to
it's very
grow
on
and
brand.
learn from, right? Yeah,
It's true.
So
yeah, it's my moment.
Mine too.
Okay, next.
Are you ready
Before
for
I
this?
start crying?
Yeah. I mean, if you need to cry, we all know I'm always like, please cry, go ahead. But I know you're tired.
No,
Are you?
It's the makeup for her.
It's
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to have to go and fix it.
Fair. Okay.
Again, I just can't be bothered.
Well, I don't think you're going to be crying in this next conversation.
Probably not.
So I think you're all good.
I might be.
Yeah, EJ has been a little bit concerned. Okay, main topic today.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk a bit about the idea of decentering men. And this is something that one of our listeners suggested as a topic for us. So we're just going to get into it. Like, what is decentering men? Is that important? Let's talk about it specifically in the context of us as Christians, and even further as Christian women. And also, like, what is our actual focus supposed to be? So I feel like this, I'm so sorry that today's the day, because I feel like this one could wipe us out. So like I said, if we don't do the whole thing, we don't do the whole thing, and we'll have a part 2. Have a nap. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what does this even mean?
Okay, let's start off, welcome to Decentering Men 101. Step 1, talk about the men. Let's talk about what decentering men is. This is a term, I'm sure it's been called other things over the year. That's just the buzzword for it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as the word decentering would suggest, it's like removing men from the center of what you're doing. It's geared specifically towards women. Mm-hmm. And I think people have a lot of different takes. We listened to some like TikToks and things about people talking about it, because this is huge on the TikTok, on the TikTok. But it ranges from women saying like, oh, if men can totally detach themselves, like, and you're just there for their enjoyment and their pleasure, like you could do the exact same as a woman, to people saying, hey, like, what are some things that you can get involved in so that you're not constantly considering how you can get men to be attracted to you? So that there's like a broad range of different ideas and things that people have. What I'll say I understood it as is this idea of what can you do in your life to ensure that your main priority and your main focus is not searching for the attention or validation or relationship with or of men.
You should play the clip.
Which one? There was a few.
Which one do you think?
I don't know if there was like a really good one. Like some of them, because it's like people just spewing out their thoughts. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, with some of them, like I felt like I lost a few brain cells that you were playing earlier.
Yeah.
Like that first one, I felt like my eyes just kind of glazed over. And
No, mine too. I did not understand what she was saying one bit.
No.
But I just think, I mean, the idea, I mean, think about it. If you were to like decenter food from your life, what would that look like?
You die.
You would starve.
No, but it didn't say not involve them, guys. That's the thing. Decentering is different than removing or eliminating entirely.
I feel like some of those videos did kind of suggest that, though.
Well, I disagree.
Yeah, get him, Priya. Yeah. Support the men.
I feel like I was about to support the men and she wasn't, and then he just totally misread that.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that.
Because I was going to say, I disagree with the idea of hating on men. I don't need no man, yada, yada, yada.
Agreed.
Because very clearly God created man and woman, and he made them to work together.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think that I, and particularly I as a single Christian woman, I do not need to be hyper vigilant and aware of all men around me at all times.
In what kind of a way?
I mean, for my safety, yes, of course. But
yeah. Like, please clarify.
But I mean that the things that I am choosing to do, fill my time with, say, act like, should not necessarily be influenced by, not even necessarily, should not be influenced by what potential men are around me that might see me and hear what I have to say. And like, are they going to like me? Or like, am I being attractive to men? Like, I'm not doing things for the male gaze. If a male's gaze happens to fall upon me, well, what can I do about it? But do you know what I mean?
Do you like what you see?
I mean, of course he does. No, I'm kidding.
Duh. Okay. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay, I think I don't disagree with the idea of your take entirely.
Okay.
But I do just wonder, like, where do we draw the line? Like, at what point do we, I don't know, have to be realistic, maybe? Like, for example, the idea of like not doing certain activities, let's just say, or going to certain places, for example, with the idea of like a man in mind, like, ooh, like, who am I going to meet? And like, who's going to be there? And will it be somebody that I'm interested in? Will it be somebody who's interested in me? Like, how can I present myself when I go to said place or do said activity? Like that kind of thing. Because I think back to like a few episodes ago when we talked about like wanting to meet people and make friends and stuff like that. And one of the things that we said was, well, like, you need to leave your house.
Yes.
And like, you need to go places and you need to put yourself out there and like go join, you know, certain activities and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you're doing that with the idea in mind that like, I'm putting myself out there because I would like to be in a relationship one day, and I realize that that's not going to happen if I never leave my house, then you are kind of doing it.
Can I ask a
to
question?
meet a man, kind of, sort of.
For clarity's sake.
Mm-hmm.
What does centering men look like?
I would say it is giving men a position on the throne of your heart. Meaning, you are doing things, constantly thinking about what they think about you, how they view you, if you are attractive to them. Like, everything you're doing is for men and like with them in mind. Yeah, which obviously causes a problem. The word idolatry, we've talked about that before. Mm-hmm. It's putting them in this position in your life that they should not be. Like, first of all, this is not your husband, and even your husband should never be an idol in your life. So, because I think that women who are married, this could happen too. But your husband should never take a place above God in your life, where it's like, oh, I'm only just focused on this and this and that, and like what he thinks and what he does, and you're not even considering what God is thinking. But I think this comes up a lot for, again, the single girlies, where it's just, this idea of I am so locked in and focused on what men think and how they view me and what their perception of me is, that I perhaps am losing myself or have lost my identity, or actually I would stop it there.
Okay, as women, how, if you had to guesstimate what average you think of women do that, and have you guys fallen into that?
That's a good question. Please hold. That always makes me so anxious.
Have we fallen into what? Can you clarify?
Into
Everything she
centering
just
men.
like
Okay.
what she just described as centering
Have
men.
you ever fallen into the idolatry of men?
Yeah. Have you been a victim of centering men in your life?
Right.
And how
Being a
many other
victim of
women
it.
do you think?
I don't know if I love that wording, but I understand what you're saying.
Why?
Okay, actually, I think I would just need you to unpack what you mean by that.
A victim of centering
Have you
men?
fallen prey to?
Yeah. Because
I don't think he means-
decentering seems like it's a thing that you guys don't want to be doing anymore. And women, you guys need to stop doing this, which says to me that clearly it's something women do that you don't want to be doing, or you don't like, or that you all are unaware that you are doing. So let me make you aware. Therefore, have you been victim of centering men in your life?
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay. I would say at one point in time, yeah. Like, just like caring too much, honestly. Opinions, approval, interest, that kind of thing. But when I think about it, a lot of it just had to do with maturity. Like, I was young and immature.
But that doesn't negate the fact that you were centering men.
No, but I'm just giving a reason, like, as to why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just pause and clarify. I think in this conversation, it's not even to say like you all are doing this and you should stop and whatever. I think it's just interesting to point out, just like we would point out an intemperate focus on any other area. Mm-hmm. So let me just clarify by saying that, but continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think back and like put myself in that headspace, like in that time of my life again. And yeah, I think that a lot of it just had to do with immaturity and being young and not knowing enough about myself and not having enough perspective and awareness for myself. And so because of that, the perspective and my perceived awareness, like that other people, specifically males, were having towards me, just like occupied too much of my thoughts. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
But you mentioned the relationship thing though. And I'm curious, like, because one of the videos that like we listened to earlier, the woman was talking about like, again, relationships, and how, you know, instead of, in essence, she was saying, I understood her to be saying, you know, instead of waking up in the morning and thinking about, you know, how can I like work at my relationship, my marriage, and make it better, I should be thinking about what can I do to like essentially improve my life in some way, like what can I do for myself kind of thing to improve my life in some kind of way. And like that was interesting to me, because I think one consistent thing in all of the videos that we watched was there really wasn't a like healthy alternative, if you will, presented. The alternative that was given consistently among all those videos was essentially an idolization of self.
It was self-centeredness, absolutely.
Yeah. And so while I do think that like, no, we shouldn't be completely consumed with men and, you know, what we think they're thinking about us and like wanting approval and, you know, all that kind of stuff, then like, yeah, what are you choosing to replace those thoughts and those feelings with? And what are you then choosing to redirect your energy towards? And like, I mean, I think about that one with relationships specifically, and like, especially in a marriage, waking up and identifying things in your relationship that could be made better is actually going to improve your life. So, yeah, that's, yeah. But okay, I think I'm getting ahead of myself though.
Okay.
It's like,
Reel it in, it's okay.
yeah, I don't want to start like ranting
Well, then
before we actually like figure out what we're really talking about here. So,
okay, so can we go back then to your point of immaturity?
mm-hmm.
Let's talk about why. Like, what about your immaturity made that something that was important? Like the opinions of men, or them being kind of the central piece of your little universe?
That's a good question. I think that maybe part of it had to do, I think I was saying like sense of self. Like, I feel like if you are like confident in yourself and who you are and what you're doing and the like direction that you're on and all of those kinds of like self things, then there's like a I feel like that's like a firmer like place to be standing, if that makes sense.
I'm not quite sure.
Like, how do I describe it? My brain feels so foggy. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
But like, I just feel like that's, you're just able to like operate more like confidently as a person in what you're doing and in your knowledge of yourself. So the need to like fill in those gaps essentially with the approval of others, or the way that you think others are perceiving you kind of thing, just isn't as strong. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. And the reason I say that is because if you're in that period of your life and you're kind of like looking for approval and all these different things, why is it that women aren't centered or weren't centered in your life? Like, why was it men? Like, what is it about men that kind of draws many women? And again, in the context of Christianity, Christian women, what is that draw? What is that pull? Like, why is it such a thing? Because it could have been anybody at that point. If it's just like, oh, I just want to be like understood and approved of. And I just like, I'm trying to navigate in this world, not fully understanding myself. You could have centered any singular person. You could have centered like women, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a biological component to it? And that's a genuine question.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that like as humans, like we are created to be relational beings. And so to like have that in yourself, the feeling of wanting to seek out a relationship, like a partner, I think makes sense.
But I'm talking about women specifically. Like, do you think there's a biological component to women being so centered on men?
Okay. I don't know if it's biological, but back in the beginning, like, hey, Genesis.
In the beginning,
God, Adam was created. God said, okay, it's not good for man to be alone. Poor man's miserable, as he should be. And let's
no lies
find him
were
a
told.
cute ting.
No lies were told.
Let's find him a cute wife. Takes his rib, knocks Adam out, anesthesia pop through, takes out his rib, creates this gorgeous looking woman, I'm going to assume. And
she had to have been.
Oh my gosh, she was the first woman. That va-va-voom.
The first woman among the lions and bears? Yeah.
Oh, she was stunning.
She was
okay.
fine.
Yeah. Eve was really that girl. Okay.
She was her.
Makes her, wakes Adam back up. And Adam's first thing is, ooh, like, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She should be called woman, right? So we already know in that situation, Adam is like, yes, like, this is the missing thing. But then, with all the sin stuff that happened, they ate the fruit, yada, yada, yada. Thanks a lot for that. I will throw hands in heaven. When we get to that point, when, you know, I want to make sure this is going down correctly, what I'm about to say. When they get cursed because they sinned, Eve is told, like, your desire is going to be for your husband, and he's going to rule over you, and essentially you're not going to like it. So I think that right there, I don't know if I don't think that's biological. I think that was a curse of sin on us as women, where we will be desiring, again, back in those days, for your husband. Like, there was not Tom, Dick, Harry, and Ned around for us to, like, choose from. Eve had no apps. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But, like, so she desired for the man for her. And so I think for us as women, with the curse of sin, we do desire for a man, but we just have a lot more options. And at our point now, we've also been perpetuated with this idea of, you know, if there is a man who is interested in you, you are now desirable. You are now worthy. You have been chosen. Interestingly enough, all these things are things that God is supposed to tell us, but we're kind of like, ooh, like, this is what this means if this guy is into me. And so we continue to seek that because our desire is for that. Our desire is to be, like, at one with that person, even if we don't know who he is yet. And so, of course, we're going to desire that, and we're going to be looking for it. And I don't even think it's to say, because back earlier you mentioned, you know, yeah, you have to leave your house and make yourself available, right? But you leaving your house and making yourself available is not you, like, hunting through, like, gotta find me a man's right now. It's and it's also not you going to something that you really, really hate because you know there's going to be men there. Like, you're not going to roll up to play tennis if you hate tennis, you don't like tennis, but, like, you know there's cute boys. Then that would be the issue, you know? So I'm just saying that I think there's a certain element of we are looking for it. We have to make ourselves available to it, but it should not be the be all end all to the point where we're putting ourselves into these situations that are like, not it. But again, to wrap up with the question, EJ, that you had, I think it's the curse of sin, specifically on women, that causes us to be prone to search for that worthiness, acceptance, approval, and desirability from men. But we just have more options.
That's actually a really insightful take that I think is needed in the narrative of today. Because I think a lot of the rebuttal from men is, you guys are biologically wired to, you know, or we are biologically wired to XYZ. And it becomes this static description of how we are as men and women. But from what you just said, that's a good perspective, because maybe you guys are not biologically wired to be the way you are towards men, but because of the sin aspect, sorry.
No, but it's true.
But even thinking about that as a man myself,
shocking.
You know,
Thanks for
speaking as one.
as a man, boy, it makes me that's a really good take from the man perspective, because or from the woman's perspective, because I've always thought kind of in the similar frame of, this is just how we are biologically. But understanding the sin aspect, I think it probably gives me, and hopefully men that are not dumb and just not and that men that want to
Shout out to the men who are not
help
dumb.
We appreciate you.
men that want to understand women. I think it gives me grace in understanding why you guys struggle with what you do. But no, I think that was an insightful take that I might just take with me and use against men.
Oh, we love it.
Against women, huzzah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
I think that when you take that and then when you add it to everything of today, I think that it just gets like really complicated.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's why it's so important for Christians to be having this conversation, because what I will notice is, and I'm not going to lie, it's not like I sat there for an hour on TikTok looking through all these videos and like Googling all these articles. In fact, I Googled no articles, and I specifically was like, yeah, let's look on TikTok, because I want to know just culturally and like trend wise, because we love to follow trends. Like that's just what people do. I want to know what's being said. I came across an area Christian video, and I know Christian women are centering men. In fact, I would say Christian women have a very big struggle with it.
I was literally just going to say, I feel like it could be maybe that this is like a thing for Christian women in a way that it might not be entirely for non-Christian women. Because I feel like within the church, there's also that narrative that like, you know, men are somehow, I don't know, superior or like higher or whatever than women are. And so I feel like that just adds like another complicated dynamic to all of it as well. And, you know, along with that, the narrative that like, you know, women are supposed to be like the lesser and the more quiet and like the ones at home and that kind of thing. And that, you know, that's where your value comes from, is when you become a wife and a mother. And so with that idea in mind, then it's like, I just feel like that makes everything even more complicated.
Yeah.
Because then like, yeah, then we're getting into a conversation about like value and worth and like purpose and identity and all that kind of stuff. And like, if in a Christian space, it's being taught that you've reached the peak of all of those things once you become a wife and a mother, because that's like the epitome of womanhood, then yeah, now we have a problem.
Yeah.
Now we have a really big problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something I was just thinking of while you were saying that, because, you know, you explained where some of that has been for you in the past when you've noticed yourself in those cycles. And I was kind of thinking like, okay, when have I noticed that in myself? And I'll preface this with, when I first heard about the idea of decentering men, my initial gut reaction, which I feel bad about it now because I understand that it runs so much deeper, but my first thought was like, oh, this is just for girls who are boy crazy. And some of us just aren't. Like, I could confidently say I have never had a boy crazy phase. But like, if I were to think about it further, that doesn't mean that I haven't been through eras of my life where, yeah, I really was placing what men thought about me in very high regard, and it didn't need to be. I think particularly when I hit my like mid-20s, it was like, okay, well, all these people are around and, you know, they're all dating each other, like, yay. Love that for all of them, but what about me? Because if I'm not receiving that same male attention, it must mean that something is wrong with me. And I think that in itself was me centering men, because I completely left behind everything that God told me about myself. And my thought was, I'm just less of a woman. I'm clearly not as attractive. I'm clearly not as this. I'm clearly not as that. Because like men aren't like sliding into my DMs left, right, and center like they are with some of these other girls. And that has nothing to do with me. Genuinely, it does not. But I went through cycles of being really down on myself and it's not even to say that I was like, okay, what can I change about myself? Do I need to start dressing different? Do I need to this? Do I need to that? It never got to that stage, but I was very much so consumed with the thought of, well, I'm just not good enough. And that's that. And that is such a dangerous place to be, because then you start acting out of desperation, and you could end up in a situation where you say yes to somebody simply because they asked, and not because they've just displayed the fruits of the Spirit, not because they have truly intentionally pursued you, not because of any of those things, but just because, oh, thank God. Like, okay, that means something's okay with me because, this man thought such and such about me. Mm-hmm. And that in itself is where I think for Christian women, again, is such a big thing, because like you said, we're told, you're the helpmate. You're supposed to help your husband. You're supposed to take care of the home. You're supposed to improve his life. Proverbs 31 woman, rah, rah, rah. Mm-hmm. And all those things are beautiful. And I fully hope that I get the opportunity to do that if God ever blesses me with a marriage. But just because I don't get to do those things doesn't make me less worthy of a human. But it's often phrased that way. And it's often like, oh, there's just this level of godliness that you haven't unlocked yet. Like, God hasn't not seen you fit to be a wife. And so I think that in itself, that convoluted, like messed up teaching that I'm sure was not intentional, but somewhere along the line, things got crossed. That in itself really, really can lead to you centering men, which is really idolizing men. And we're not supposed to do that. Like, it's misplaced worship. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's
it's interesting. Like with your last point right there, I feel like the other people sharing their perspectives on it that we talked about, it was kind of ironic to me. 'Cause here they were talking about decentering men, but like the way that they were talking about it was still very like men
oriented,
centered. Yeah. So it was just kind of ironic to me. Like, yeah, in an effort to decenter men,
we're quite focusing on that.
I see nothing changing. Yeah. And so, and the other thing too was that like, yeah, they were saying things like, you essentially need to be configuring your life in such a way that everything in your life and everybody in your life is somehow serving you, like serving a purpose for you. Now, of course, that's not to say that like we shouldn't have people in our life who, pour into us in some kind of a way. Like that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. But the idea that in order to decenter men, it then means that you need to have everything in your life and everybody in your life revolving around you. Well, then do we not have to then have a conversation with all of those people about how they need to decenter you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we just like all in then a perpetual cycle of centering ourselves, which then requires other people to decenter us? Like, that makes no sense to me. Where does the madness stop?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think the reality is that like, if, Christian values are your thing, like if that's what you believe and the words of Jesus is something that you want to like live your life by, then realistically, we're all supposed to be living in a way that serves those around us. And I feel like if that is how you shift your perspective, then you're far better off, because it sounds to me like this whole conversation is really just about like shifting your priorities and your perspectives. Do you know what I mean? Like reworking your priorities. Yeah. And to your point, you said like misplaced worship. And I feel like that's what it is. But the solution is not to then like put yourself in that throne.
Exactly.
It's to put Jesus in
Back where
that
he
place
belongs.
where he's supposed to be. Like, yes, even in your own life. And in doing so, you allow him to be who he is and us to be who we're supposed to be in relation to him and in light of him and what he's done. I just,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. And I thoroughly agree. An amendment I would make, for example, because I like this idea of the perpetual like cycle of, okay, am I serving myself? Am I serving you? Am I serving the men? Like, what am I serving? And so you kind of said we should really be placing ourselves in a position to be serving other people. I'm going to amend that slightly. I don't think we should be putting ourselves in a position of serving other people. I think we should be putting ourselves in a position of serving God, and the fruit of that automatically is going to be serving people.
That's what I mean.
The reason I'm like making that clarification
Yes.
is because I think we would end up right back at the centering men problem, because it's like, okay, now my job is to serve and serve and serve. And like, I'm going to start serving this man as though he's my husband when, girl, he's not.
Yeah.
And everything just starts all back over again.
Yeah. The solution is to not make yourself a doormat, essentially,
and
for other people, and to make yourself,
we should not
subservient to the people around you.
Exactly.
Be it men or
otherwise
somebody else. Yeah.
We shouldn't be glorifying men. We shouldn't be glorifying other women. We shouldn't be glorifying ourselves. But again, in all these videos and in all the conversation that I did get to skim, it is kind of like, okay, so how do we deal with this if this is the thing? And it is that. It's like, how am I going to put myself at the little center of my universe? But that's going to get lonely pretty quick too. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing no one talks about, is that when you are serving yourself, it's selfish. People don't like to stay around for selfish people. And we all need people. So I think you're really just boxing yourself into a little hole. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way around it. It's either that you are serving God and you're like, okay, he has to be the center, or you're having this misplaced worship and you're going to continually fall into the cycle. And that's not even to say shame on you. Like, again, sin is a real thing. There's a reason Jesus died for us. He knew this stuff was real. But we have to be cognizant of it and know that it is something that can happen over and over and over again. You might surrender it one day and 2 weeks later you're right back there. Mm-hmm. It could just happen.
Yeah. I feel like there is a good way and a healthy way to have a conversation about the idea of decentering men, because I think that it is a worthwhile conversation if you're having it the right way. But I feel like with so much of what I've heard people talking about, like this topic, it falls into the category of being this like really trendy, like self-help,
it's a trend.
Achieve your like highest self and whatever kind of thing. And I just feel like at some point we have to draw a really hard line, because I think that trend, whether it's decentering men or like fill in the blank with anything else, but that idea of like, we're all just like really needing to be on this journey of, self-actualization and like achieving our highest self and like all that kind of stuff. Like, it really, really reads as very narcissistic. Mm-hmm. Honestly, to me, it does. And so if the idea is like that we're actually, because I feel like the common thread in so many of those conversations is how we're all supposed to be like, as just like humans, like loving each other and working together and like peace and love and grooviness and all that kind of stuff. But like, if the instruction that's being given is actually causing everybody to become these like little narcissists running around, then are we actually achieving that, or are we putting ourselves farther back from that?
Can we just call it like self-centered people? I call it everybody narcissists.
No, there is a difference.
That's what I mean.
But I stand by what I said though.
Okay.
Because it's the idea that you are the center of your own life, which is like creating this like grand elevated idea of yourself, and that the people that you surround yourself should also see you that way. And so they are serving this like self-actualization of yourself in this life that you want to create as your like you being the sun, like the center of, you know what I mean? Like,
can I ask a question? Do you think, because okay, with narcissism, a big key element is grandiosity, and I know we're getting slightly off topic, I'm going to bring it back real quick, but grandiosity is, like you said, that idea of not only am I the center of my life and my universe, but everybody else should agree to that. With this stuff and in those videos, I know that people are saying, or the women are saying, like, girl, you better put yourself back at the center. Like, what are you doing to improve you? Be your highest self. But I didn't really hear them saying that other people should be doing that to you too. And so that's where I think there's kind of a bit of a difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's necessarily...
I have, though.
You have what?
Like, heard many a person on platforms such as TikTok describe it in that kind of way.
Because I feel like I've only heard it as in, like, focus on you. And if that person's focusing on them, great. If you can pour into each other's lives, great. But it's not necessarily like... basically I'm this little god running around and everyone needs to be subservient to me. That's not ever how I perceived it. And again, that could be a perception thing, but it isn't really how I understood that to be. I thought it was kind of like, I'm just focusing on it in my life being, we've talked about main characters way back when.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, but like, I'm going to be the main character of my life. You could be the main character of your life. I don't really see there being, and I think that's the slight narcissism crossover that EJ might be getting slightly.
Let's decenter the word narcissism.
I would love us to talk about narcissism in an entire different episode. I'm putting that out there right now. There's a book I want us to read, and then we'll talk about it.
I do agree with what you're saying in the sense that, like, okay, narcissism and people being narcissists is kind of like a buzz word, a buzz phrase that I agree
real,
is real, but it's thrown around way too freely. Like,
I think it's watering down what actual narcissism
what it actually is. I agree.
Yeah, and in doing so invalidates the people who are living it.
Yeah.
Not as the narcissist, but the people being
but the people who are victims of it. I fully agree. Like, we can't be playing it fast and loose with like
big words like that. Yeah.
With diagnoses like that, you know? But to what you were saying, I agree. Not everybody talks about it in that kind of a way. But I do hear a lot of people talking about it in that kind of way, especially in the context of speaking about relationships. And it's that, like, you know, are they serving you? Like, what's in it for you? Kind of a mentality.
Or just the idea of, like, you're the woman, you're supposed to just exist.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also in friendships, like, how are they serving you? Like, how are they making your life better? What are they doing for you? Like, that kind of thing. I think
that's just like a societal thing.
As if it's not supposed to be mutual. But I'm just saying, the context that I hear it spoken about a lot in is in these, like, self-help,
but that's,
you know, kind of
though.
things.
Even your job. People are like, don't do the most work for minimum wage, because, like, everything today is just selfish.
Yes.
I
Everything.
feel like that's a little bit different, though, don't you think?
No.
I don't. Sorry.
Do the best you can do at whatever position you're in.
The Bible tells us to do that.
Yeah, but that's different, though.
I don't think it is.
Doing what you're doing the best that you can is different than saying you should do what you're doing, but also take on this, and this.
No, that's no.
That's not what you're saying.
I feel like you guys are saying different things.
I feel like we are. Yeah.
What?
Can you clarify what you mean?
What? And this is just an example of selfishness in society. This idea, in like a work example, of I don't get paid enough to do this. I think the average person posting that is just lazy. Work. Be happy that you work.
Seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Get up and go to work.
You better get your ass up and work.
Do your job to the best of your ability. And if somebody blesses you with an opportunity to do more, rewards come. Maybe not instantly in this instant gratification age, but you gain stuff from that. You gain skills from that. You gain relationship. You gain looks from that.
Okay, so can I ask, where's the line then?
The line of what?
recognizing how, like, what you're being paid versus the amount of work and responsibility you're taking on, and the time and the effort and the energy and everything it's going to take to do that.
I think the line should be, read your contract before you sign it.
But you're saying that you should go above and beyond, which implies that it's things that would not necessarily be in the contract.
That's not what I'm saying.
I don't feel like that's what
I'm saying minimum wage shouldn't equate to minimum effort.
Okay, can I please?
Oh,
yeah, go.
Please, because I've seen videos like that too, and it's kind of the idea of go in, do the bare minimum to not get like caught.
It's quiet quitting.
Collect your check.
Quiet quitting.
Yeah, collect your check and go. That is very different than I'm going to overwork myself and say yes to too many things, because then I'm also not doing my job well. I'm just like spinning out of control. But those are very opposite ends of the spectrum. And so I don't really think that we need to be too concerned about defining a line between the two, because it's apples and oranges at that point. But I do think that it comes down to the central problem of, what are you centering? Because if you're overworking yourself and you're like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, why? Is it because you're trying to get a certain amount of notoriety at work? Is it because, you're trying to prove a point? Is it because you were trying to run away from things in your life and this has become an addiction for you, and like this is an escape? On the other end, if you're doing the bare minimum to collect your check and go, why? Who are you centering? Why are you centering it that way? All of this stuff comes down to the exact same thing.
That's fair. That's a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. I need a second. My head hurts.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know I'm like, Jenny, I do need a second, because I'm like, I forget what we've already talked about and where we were going.
I mean, we're kind of unpacking it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question, the overarching, is that the right word?
Overarching, yeah.
Overarching question is, is this decentering men thing, is it realistic? Is it healthy? Is it godly? And what should this movement actually be to make it healthy, godly, and realistic?
Well, I think that was kind of my thoughts earlier about how ironically it seems to me, at least, like the idea of calling it decentering men is kind of still making it about men. Because if the idea is to actually decenter men, and in doing so, presumably, hopefully in a healthy way, rebalance your priorities and refresh your perspectives on things, then doing so should not have anything to do with men specifically, or the motivation should not be men specifically. It should be to make your life more healthy. Does that make sense? Which then is the point of it's supposed to be a for you thing and not a for men thing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
So I feel like, yes, it is a healthy thing, and yes, it is a conversation that we should have, and yes, it absolutely can be a godly thing. But I think then it comes down to, again, your motive, and then what are you replacing that spot with?
Yeah. No, definitely. Sorry, and I'm absorbing what you're saying, but I think that we have just missed the mark so strongly when it comes to conversation on decentering. And a big part of that is because, again, it's not happening in the context of God, which if we're going to have any helpful conversation about anything, it has to happen that way. He's our creator. But I guess I just get a little, it's almost frustrating because you see the issue happening, you know, like, this isn't healthy. But I think our natural reaction is, okay, like, what do we replace it with? And so my problem with all these videos, and kind of like what you're saying, is like, sure, I'm decentering one thing, but I'm like centering something else immediately after. And I just don't, like, it's making my brain hurt a little bit because it's just this perpetual feedback loop. And so, you know, in another 5 years, after all these women have gone out and like decentered men and totally, like, some of the things that they were saying, it's like, okay, get off all apps, you know, only do hobbies that you like hang out with the girls, you don't need to be talking to boys, like all these things. Like, sure, that's all well and good for a season, but let's say you decide this is going to be my lifestyle, I'm going to live that way, you're going to end up really isolated and really lonely. And then we're going to get this uprising of exactly what I think we have already. This has already happened. We've already been through this cycle. And so then going to be this thing where it's like, you know, ladies, like, here's how to get the guy you want. Ladies, here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. Literally the 17 magazines that we were reading. And then the whole thing just kickstarts again.
Well, like, yeah, the irony is that if you scroll through TikTok for long enough, you'll find the opposite. You'll watch a video on one thing, and then you scroll, and then 2 minutes later you find another person talking about on a video like the other thing, and it's like,
what am I believing here?
Yeah, well, it's just like this dumb like cycle.
Yes. I think again, speaking to Christian women, we have to be very vigilant on how we are centering men. But I don't think that directly means that we need to now go the opposite end of the spectrum and like decenter them. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing if a woman, you know, let's say she's married and she is like caring for her husband and doing these things to help him and just supporting him in everything he does. Like, I would never say that that's bad. No. I think that that's absolutely beautiful. But if you look at it through a skewed lens, yeah, that could look like she's centering him. But it's kind of like, where's her heart behind it? Is she doing it for his approval, or is she doing it because that's what the Lord calls her to do as a wife?
Well, I feel like there's just so many factors in there. I just don't even know where to start, to be honest. Okay. I feel like marriage is just like, it's just different. And if you look at somebody who hopefully is in a healthy marriage and they are looking at the wife specifically, and she is, you know, loving and supporting her husband and, you know, caring about working on the relationship and all those kinds of things, and you view that as a bad thing, then I feel like you should start somewhere else. Like, I just feel like your perspective on marriage then is just maybe skewed. But like,
that's not to negate that sometimes it is a bad thing, because that person could solely be looking for the approval of that man, and she's never going to find it.
Well, that's why I said presumably if it's all healthy. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Like, obviously things are not always, and like things happen and whatever. But I feel like for me, the point is just, it's, again, from a Christian perspective, I don't think it's really about decentering men. I think it's about the reality that we need to, again, shift our perspectives and shift our motives and our priorities, so that God is in the place in our lives that he is supposed to be in.
We're recentering Christ.
Yeah. And from that, you know, allowing him to help us kind of put everything in the place that it's supposed to be in, which is not his place. And so it's not about men. Like, that can be a part of that process, but it's not just about men. It's about everything else. Like, if God's not in the rightful place in your life that he's supposed to be in, well, then everything is out of order. So I don't know, calling it like decentering men and leaving it at that, like, I get it, but also I don't get it.
Well, I think in the context of Christianity, and even further in the context of what we're hoping to do with this podcast, having those conversations, yeah, you're right. We would be remiss to just say, okay, so like, now here's some tips to stop decentering men. It's not about the men. Mm-hmm. It's just, that is just a manifestation of, again, the misplaced worship, the idolatry, the searching for our identity where we will never find it.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that in mind, and that being what the actual root of the problem is, like, what do we make of that? What next? What is something that maybe you wish when you were in that stage, when you were younger and you feel like this was a big thing in your life? Like, what is something that if you could go back and change, or like tell yourself, like, what would that look like?
As your final takeaways.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Thanks.
Start the Jeopardy theme song again.
Oh God.
I'm not going to speak for women, but I think you said recentering Christ. I think that was the answer.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know if I can come up with anything else. Maybe that sounds like maybe the question then is, okay, practically, how do we recenter Christ in our lives?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the better question.
Get off of TikTok.
Change your diet.
Open Habakkuk.
What? Habakkuk is a good book.
How do you feel? Sorry, side note. How do you feel when people say Habakkuk?
I go like this.
Or like they just pronounce a name that's like...
Or Habakkuk.
Yeah.
Habakkuk.
Habakkuk.
It's Habakkuk.
It's Habakkuk.
That's how I've always wanted to pronounce it too.
Yeah.
Is that the right way though, or is that just the way that we know?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, it's correct.
We're not
like
Jewish.
As in you've decided?
Yes.
He said that was all me.
Final takeaways.
Okay. I have a couple scripture verses.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Let's go.
Let her rip.
Sorry. I apologize for being on my phone. I was on the hunt.
No, it's okay. When I was like on my phone earlier, I was like typing down a thought, because if I didn't,
yes, and
it was gonna escape me, and then
our phones are gonna be out,
and then I would never see it ever again.
Yeah, exactly. A couple things. Colossians 3:23. I love the scripture verse, but whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. Now, I think in the context of this conversation, because it says and not for men, like, can we let that sink in, babes? Like, we cannot be doing
Take it literally.
No, literally. Exactly. Because when we are doing things and we're not doing it for the Lord, we've immediately decentered Christ. And so I think it's a good heart check when I'm doing something, or when I'm considering acting in a specific way. I should be checking my heart posture. And that looks as simple as being like, why am I actually doing this? How is this going to help me in my relationship with God? How is this going to help me walk closer to the Lord? Like, and if you don't really have a good answer, and it's like, but this guy will think I look good, or this will put me in a position where there's going to be more men who talk to me, or even more women who now think I'm cool and they want to be like me. Girl, it's not good enough. It's not a good enough answer. It has to have some sort of something. And I get that not everything always immediately you're like, this is how it's for Jesus. But we should be able to arrive there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't arrive there, red flag. The end. But the other verse I wanted to share was Romans 12 verses 2. Or just verse 2. I don't know why I added all the extra syllables for what. And it is, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. I think this verse is really important for a couple reasons. The idea of renewing our mind, I mean, we could have a whole podcast episode on that alone, and what that actually looks like. But a big part of it is what we talked about over the past couple of weeks, which is changing your diet. And if we as women are navigating our lives without a renewed mind, we are going to be sucked into that hole of what men think about me is paramount, and what my value is based on these other people, men, women, whatever, is of paramount. Whereas if we have renewed our mind and we come back to Jesus and we're like, okay, please, like, Holy Spirit, I need you to take my thoughts. I need you to rework them. I need you to focus them back on you. He will. He is faithful and just. He will. But that process in itself is then going to help you be alert to, okay, right now I'm thinking about this thing and it's not really important. And if we're focusing on what is good and what is perfect and what is his will, then we will find ourselves easier climbing out of these holes, because it's like, I know that Jesus didn't die for this. I'm sorry. He didn't. He did not die for me to be here like freaking out over this and that and the next. Like, it's just not what he did. but it involves us really, first of all, really submitting to the will of the Lord and saying, renew me and use me, actually. Like, I invite you in to do that. And then following that, we have to be so on top of ourselves. Like, no one's going to do it for you. You have to, once you know, okay, this is a problem, like, you have to be actively working to correct it. And sometimes people are like, well, I don't know how to correct it. It starts by acknowledging. Like, oh, I just noticed this pattern that I did again. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is step one. And then compared to, okay, I know the Bible will have an answer for you, by the way. So, like, what does the word say about it? But acknowledging is just so vital as well.
I had one more thought.
Please.
I think it's worth saying that, the like fix, I guess, if you will, is not to go to the extreme where it's like, I now no longer care at all about other people's perspectives or opinions or feelings or whatever, because they all mean nothing to me and I don't care. Because I think that there absolutely are moments and situations where there is an element of doing something that is going to make somebody else happy or please somebody else or whatever the case may be. But it's funny. Okay, I thought of Apapa again.
Yeah.
Because his like theme, I guess, for this like whole blog that he wrote, it was called In Search of Moderation. And I was reading the first post about like why he came up with this theme and decided to call it this. And he was just talking about it and explaining it. And he was just talking about the idea of balance. And I think that in this case, like I said, there are moments where other people are a factor, and you should keep that in mind. And it's a good thing to do that. But also Jesus being in the priority spot that he should be in. And in this post, I propose talking about it being the balance of excellence. And I feel like that kind of applies. Like the balance of excellence, where it's excellence for Christ and whatever it happens to be that you're doing. But also like the excellence and like your consideration of other people and how you're treating them and what you're doing for them and how you're doing it and those kinds of things. I feel like there is a balance.
Yeah.
And I feel like in order to have that balance, Christ has to be in the spot that he's supposed to be in.
Absolutely.
And then from that, yeah, have your...
the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else.
Yeah. I have one more thing even.
And another thing.
Final takeaway.
This is a good takeaway. It's going to be good.
Oh my gosh.
And I loved that
Poor
one.
EJ. It's like,
sorry.
wrap it
Yeah,
up.
he's like, it's time for boy briefs. Okay. I was just going to say, if you are a woman and you have found yourself, whether in the past or currently, in a situation where you are centering men, just know that to decenter does not mean that you have to like strike men out of your life. It does not mean that we as women need to hate on men. That is the exact opposite of what we need to be doing. As Priya just mentioned, that involves loving and caring for other people as Christ would call you to. But I do just want to mention that it's like, it's okay. You don't have to stay there forever, but it just, yeah, like, be gentle on yourself in the process. And I will always say that about everything, because the second we start shaming ourselves for this stuff, it's just not going to help at all, because now you're going to start like putting your own identity in yourself and be like, well, I should have done this better, and well, I should have done that better. And like, that's also not recentering Christ. So
yeah. Don't overcorrect.
Yeah. If you're in the journey and you're in the process, like, I'm sure there's so many others, like we have gone through it. I'm like, it's a cycle. It ebbs and flows, and it's just, it's okay. It is okay. We just have to be aware of what our goal is, which is to, again, recenter Christ. But you're good. Okay, we're done.
EJ.
Nice.
You're up. Ready?
We need a jingle, a Boy Briefs jingle.
That's true. You know, we talked about that, and then we never thought about it ever again.
Whoops. Ain't that just like us?
That's on brand.
Okay.
What's our question?
Can I go with the OG question that we had? I feel like he didn't. Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
EJ.
Yes.
With this whole conversation happening, we want to know, can they tell if a woman has centered men? Does it affect the way that you might interact with her, pursue her? Is it actually going to be pursued at all? Like that type of stuff. And what's some like advice that you'd have on how it could be done differently, and whatever else that you want to sprinkle in? Because I know you have thoughts.
I have all the thoughts.
All the thoughts.
Can a guy tell if a woman is centering men?
Oh, like, yeah, is that a red flag? Would you take it as a red flag, or is it just kind of like, haha, easy for me? Like,
Yeah, I think
give us the tea.
I think easy for me.
That's so scary.
So you think that a guy is more likely to take advantage of that as opposed to be turned off by it?
Um,
And is
I
that
don't- I
an
don't wanna
all men thing, or is that an immature men thing?
It's hard to use the immature angle because I don't think it's a maturity thing. I think it's a understanding thing. Like it's like a comprehension thing, and I don't think that equates to your level of maturity. Because you can comprehend something very well, and then still just choose to be immature about it or mature about it. You know what I mean? I think it's whether you understand it or not.
Okay.
But I don't know if take advantage is the word I want to use, but there is a sense of way easier than there's less work for me to do. If she's already, if I'm already the center, then what do I have to do? Ain't no work for me. I could just be there's a lot of leeway for me to mess up.
It's just path of least resistance.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my gosh. No, you're right. It's just like,
it's just like, oh, cool.
That's just a funny
easy
way
for
to
me and less work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I keep gasping before I ask questions. I need to calm down. So anyway, guys,
Boy brains.
Oh my gosh.
well, because I was just going to say, what do you think for the men? Like, what is something that you would anticipate is just going to be different in the experience of pursuing, whether like an initial pursuit or already in a marriage, a woman who is very clearly recentered Christ? Like, what? I don't know if it's like, what are the fruits or that, or just of that?
Or like,
I
what
don't
does that now require of you?
know. Right.
As opposed to it being, oh, this is easy peasy because this doesn't require anything of me. Was that the question?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It requires you to basically man up. You know, you kind of got to step into your role now as, if it's a marriage, as the husband. If it's just dating, you kind of got to step into being a man and figuring out what that means. And the thing is, it's just a constant journey. Like, there's no destination of, yes, I've arrived at manhood. It's just a continuous journey of, dang, this is hard. This is tough. It involves a lot of sacrifice, a lot of picking up my cross daily, all that kind of stuff. But I think when you find a woman who is Christ-centered, her supporting you can't be anything other than calling you to be what God has called you to be. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of can't hide behind the path of least resistance.
Right.
You got to grow up. You got to man up. She doesn't let you make excuses for stuff. She holds you accountable. But like, actually, she holds you to the standards that she knows you've set for yourself.
Do you think that's like key though? Because I think sometimes women might hold men to standards that they set on them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably more valuable for a woman to say, okay, this is something that you said.
Yeah.
And like, I'm here to help you see it through.
Or is it either, and it's actually, here's the standard that God has set?
Yeah. I would love us to talk about further. Sorry, just before you, like, just how to actually call out men. It sounds so weird. But because I could just
trash.
picture do better. No, because I could picture it going down kind of like that, or
Yeah.
the man receiving it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that there has to be an art to how do I actually call this man to a higher standard as his wife? Is there a place for that as his girlfriend where you're technically both still single? Like, that would just be interesting.
I think interesting question. I think that question goes back to the original topic. And I think a lot of people pick, I'm not going to say the wrong person, but maybe the right person, but in the wrong state. Right? So, kind of like you were saying, Shaina, like if he doesn't have the characteristics or the character development that qualifies for you to marry this person, then when you're in that marriage, it's going to be pretty hard to call him out because he's still working on humility and learning how to take criticism or stuff like that.
But with that idea, though, nobody ever reaches a point of perfection, and we're all working on those things. So if that's the case, then where is the line between somebody being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, this is not the right word, but like developed enough versus like compared to like dating potential, essentially.
That's a great question.
Because if we're all a work in progress, we never really arrive anywhere.
I mean, I would hope constructive criticism is something a bridge you cross for the first time before you're in a marriage. Like, I would hope that that's not something you discover 2 years in. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think for men, I think before you criticize them, you gotta earn their vulnerability. You know? Like, I think probably in the same way for men, like, men want the woman who's a freak in the sheets with a lady in the streets, right? But you gotta earn her vulnerability first. Right? I think for women, it's kind of the flip side. Like, he has to be able to trust letting his male exterior hardness down with you to allow you to see his vulnerabilities. But when you do see them, I think just like you would like him to be gentle with yours, it's kind of the same thing. Don't nag.
Yeah.
Don't you do this? You don't do this. It's annoying.
So, but like back to my question though. So what, like, where's that line?
I don't know. It's different for people. I think, and it goes even deeper because I think these are things that fathers should teach their daughter on how to see these things in men. But that's a whole nother epidemic in itself of either fatherless homes or homes with fathers in them that are just not teaching their daughters how to navigate men properly and understand them. So you're not able to understand what you're seeing. If you have a good relationship with your dad and you're questioning something about a guy you're with, ask your dad.
Amen.
That's a great way to find out where the line is.
Yeah.
Because if your dad loves you, you can guarantee he's not going to give you advice that's going to harm you.
Right.
Shout out
It
to
might
all
not be
the good
perfect.
dads
It
out
might
there.
not be
Yeah, we
perfect
love our good
advice,
dads.
but you can guarantee it's with your best interest.
Right.
So don't be afraid to ask your dad for help.
Something I was just thinking though, further to that, I love that. I don't know if for me, if I would consider it as, okay, this is a line where, you know, okay, I can't go over, I can't go under, but if acknowledging that a man is not going to be perfect, and giving him grace in that, but still calling him to a higher standard. That sounded like, anyway, I'm getting distracted. What I was going to say,
I know what you
yeah, is I think something I would be looking for is a teachable spirit. And not even to say like, I'm teaching you, this is how you need to navigate this. But if I say something, I know you're still going to mess up. I know that you're not going to be perfect at it, but were you able to receive it well? Were you able to say either in the moment, oh my goodness, yeah, you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. I am going to try to work on that. Or maybe he needs to take a step back and like think about it. And then like later you notice that there's some change. It might not be a perfect change, but you see some sort of progress. Like I think all of us, we appreciate when people acknowledge that we did try. And I think that that's really important. And that does demonstrate that you want to grow, that like teachableness. So I don't know if that's,
I think that's a good one.
Part of it, like not even really a line, but just a boundary. Like if somebody's so resistant, man or woman, to correction, I think that that's a red flag.
I agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree. Because to me, then it means that, you know, if this person is not demonstrating that they are at all teachable, then it's also demonstrating that there is most likely a like a pride issue. And then it's also demonstrating that it probably means that they don't have any like mentors in their life who they're allowing to like help them, to, you know, encourage them, to check them, call them out, like those kinds of things, you know?
I mean, not necessarily. If you're not teachable, you might have mentors, but
It's not working.
you're not teachable.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You might, like, they might be around, but you're not allowing
Absorbing
them
it.
to operate fully as a mentor, which would be allowing them
can't
to
be
teach, like
discipled.
accept
Yeah.
what they have to say. Yeah, you can't be discipled. Yeah. So I feel like that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know what the line is for men who with pride. I don't know what the line is. I hope I'm not. I don't think I'm prideful. Might be sometimes.
Everyone has their moments.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah. But
Everybody has
I
those
think
days.
overall I'm not a super prideful guy. But I think a line, if you're asking for a line, what is his center?
Say it again, Pastor EJ.
What is his center? Is it just trying to get status? Is it just trying to get rich?
Is it you?
Yeah, is it like, honestly, I think for men, if their center is not God, I think you will get pride.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like
That's a given.
one of the cause and effects when it comes to men.
Interesting.
It's hard to get through to men whose center is not God or godly principles. You know, usually men with pride who may not be Christians, when you look at their character, very godly, they might just not know why.
Right.
You know? But I find, yeah, if it's not God, it's usually pride.
Interesting.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Did I
Good
do
chat.
Oh, you always do great.
Yes.
Yeah. That was good. Clap when you land.
They just did such a good job.
Okay. Well,
That's funny.
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for today's episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to follow us. All the information to follow us on our socials are in the show notes as well. If you're not on YouTube watching us, what are you doing? Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, leave some comments, let us know what you thought about the conversation. What else is there? Oh, ratings and reviews. If you want to leave us one of those, we would greatly appreciate it. We always want to improve, so let us know about that. And until next time, stay courageous, stay faithful, keep embracing the journey, and don't get your panties in a bunch. Bye.
Bye.